So what we want to do here is we want to create the line finder program. Right? We want to make sure that we have this set up correctly so it's just above the floor. We can check the gradients like we did in the Is It Blue program if you want to go back and check how to do that using the port view to find out what our numbers are for whether it's dark or whether it's light. The first thing we want to do is we want to create our program. So we want to create our line finder program, and then we want to add a move steering block, right? And we're just going to have it go on. And we could have this at any number, but in order to test it, we want to make sure that it's kind of going at a nice slow speed. We want it to go straight. And then we're going to create a weight block, and we want to use the color sensors. We want to compare reflected light intensity. And so our floor is around 50. So what we want here is we want it to stop when it gets a dark color that's less than a certain percentage. So when we checked our black tape, it was around 6, 7, or 8% reflection. So any number that's less than that, we can pick 10, but let's pick about 20. And you'll see that when we picked 20, we saw that there was a little bit, it was like 6, 7, or 8 for the blue line also. So anywhere after, that's anything that has a lower reflection than 20%, we will have it stop. So we'll put put this like that, and then we'll have it stop. So we have just going straight. B and C is what we have our plugs in, and we have port 3 is where we have our color sensor put in. The floor was around 48 to 50, so the floor is fine. Our red tape was somewhere in the 40s, so it can even go over the red tape. And then we will also check, and then we put a little wait timer on the end, and we'll move that, make that 5-second wait. So there's our program. All right, so we can file save it, and then we could download it and test it. So now we're going to do the line finder program. We have this set up so that it's just above the floor, and what we're going to do is we want to look and see with our port view again. All right, so we do our port view like we did. So this is 53 here, it's 50 or above, and the black line is 8, the red line is 45. So I set this up so that if, with the line finder, if the percentage of the reflective light is below 20%, then it'll stop. So this floor here is all 50. The red is 44, and the black line is around 6. So this should be able to pass over. Our blue line is around 6 too. So this should be able to pass over fine. So if we check the blue line, that's around 6. And this should be able to pass right over the red line and then stop when it gets to the black line. So I'll go back to our line finder program, and we'll test it. So it goes right over the red line, and then when it gets to the black line it stops. We could also test this to see that if it's going to do it with the blue. If the blue has a number, so it stops on the blue line also. So the red in the floor being higher than a 20% reflection, allow it to move past it, and the black line and the blue line being under 20% reflection cause it to stop right when it gets to it. You might also notice that if you have it in the, if you try to push run before you set on the floor, the wheels won't turn, or if you try to do it on the desktop, the wheels won't turn, and that's because the desktop is dark, and also the air gets a percentage of zero reflected light because the light's not going to reflect back. So it has to be on the floor in order for the program, for the wheels to turn and the program to run, because if it's in the air or on your dark desktop, that'll be less than 20% reflected light, and it'll automatically stop before it even starts.